Another shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Another shot is gonna hit you with a mind overloading on it. The bar is always open with no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories twitching. Remember, everything we say is just our opinion. But then again, it might be the alcohol talking. It might be the alcohol talking. Let's go.
Welcome to Another Shot Podcast, where our opinions might be real, or it could just be the liquor talking. Sit back and enjoy another shot.
Oh, guys, I'm not gonna lie. We were literally this close to starting on time tonight. Where does the time go? I just let it slip by. I tell you what, guys, I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna have a hell of a night. We got a lot to cram in. Welcome to our Thirsty Thursday Thoughts and Shots. We're gonna hit this ground running. Let's do a quick shout out to the official sponsor of Another Shot Podcast, and that is MLH Distillery, located right here in Grove City, Pennsylvania. Their hours of operation, guys, are Fridays 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., Saturdays 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. They will be adding to those dates, from what I understand. All these awesome bottles you see on your screen. You also see me pouring at the bar here. You can purchase right there at MLH Distillery and at MLHdistillery.com. Guys, you can also find them on Facebook to keep up with what's going on. Full service bar, guys. They have food, cocktail drinks, amazing. Again, MLH Distillery in Grove City. Another quick shout out to our friends at Snap-on Tools, the premier selection in automotive parts, automotive tools. There you go, Robin. That one goes out to you, brother. So I'm actually kind of excited about tonight. First off, I'm really interested in seeing, I think my co-workers or, some of the people that do get involved forget that this is a bar talk. It's going to be open conversation. A lot of opinions will be thrown out there. Doesn't mean they're always right. Doesn't make them wrong. So you kind of have to be able to back what you say with actual evidence. Which usually when I have a conversation with somebody, I try not to go into it blind. I go into it with, knowledge in hand of what we're getting ready to talk about. So I'm sure somebody will pop in sooner or later. All good. But again, that's how me and my friends operate. One day we'll bicker and gripe and you'd think we didn't like each other at all. But then we wake up the next day and it's business as usual. Still have fun with it. But here's another reason why we might actually have a shorter night than what we normally do, guys. It depends on how the conversation goes. This is, I think, the first, it's not exactly a collab, but it kind of is. Our good friends over at Talking Shit, yours truly, at 8:30 tonight, guys. You can find it on Facebook, YouTube. You can find them about the same places you can find us. I will be competing in a game that they call Florida or Not Florida. And the object of the game is to figure out which headlines actually happened in Florida and possibly happened elsewhere. It wasn't all that long ago. I was checking it out. I got the biggest kick out of it because one of the questions was, I guess a tiki boat got, hijacked or stolen. And long story short, they always ask, Florida or not Florida. And my first thought is, okay, something like that makes a lot of sense that, especially down there, you see tiki huts on every corner. No, it happened in Jersey. So I thought that was kind of cool, They threw an open invite out, and I happened to be just scrolling through at the right possible time. I said, hey, I'd love to join you guys. And next thing you knew, I got an email, and they said, here's the link. Join us tonight, 8:30. So, yeah, yours truly is extremely excited about this one. I never claimed to be a pro at this. I mean, I myself, I struggle at times to find stuff to talk about, to, get the crowd engaged. And, I knew going into this, it wasn't going to happen overnight. Now, we had a few people that was helping us along the way. And, well, I mean, we ended up parting ways. We completely went in two different directions. And, these other guys that have helped us, though, I mean, Talking Shit being one of them, you've seen them pop in the comments every now and then. It's like, hey, what's going on? At least they're acknowledging and they're giving us the views. These guys are phenomenal, and they are actually, now we have two very different types of shows. But, I always like when these, I guess we can call them the bigger brands, reach out, and it's like, kind of like in the bourbon world, they say, here's a handshake. That's the fun part about this business. I mean, there's so many active podcasts and live streams out there. It's just, and especially after the big lockdown, they exploded. And speaking of the devil, I was actually just talking about you guys. What is going on, gentlemen? So yes, guys, this is, like I said, in the bourbon world, they call it a handshake. When you got a bigger entity actually reaching out and giving you an opportunity to come on, I honestly feel like there's a lot that we can learn from the gentleman that just popped in here. So, my friend, I am truly looking forward to this competition tonight. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up everybody's ass, but like I said, I mean, I'm actually excited about it because these guys are actually where I would love to be. I've said it a million times, guys. The stuff you see behind me was never meant for my own personal, all-the-time consumption. We have a bar here for a reason. We love having guests. We love having, people come in and talk, and that was the whole point of this. It's bar talk. And don't be surprised, guys, if at some point I don't start picking your brain just a little bit, because I would love to figure out a way to get, and if this motion sensor does not quit, thanks, cat. Oh, brother, I have no doubt at all. So, actually, I'm glad, you got some spare time to, check us out again. Unfortunately, it is just me tonight. The woman that's usually behind the camera, again, guys, Kat's off for the week because of her personal daily. So, again, it's thoughts and shots, whatever comes to mind. Hell, I don't even mind a little bit of critiquing. I'm taking it a little easy on the drink tonight. It's, I don't know. Like I said, it's, you don't need to come on here and, hit the ground running all the time. And it's becoming a little bit more frequent that, I start the night off with a soda and, I've said this 1,000 times. I can't drink like I used to. You know, I'm not in my 20s anymore. Hell, I'm not even in my 30s. So every now and then you got to sit back and be the responsible one. But, oh. So, okay, I would love to, if you've got the time, I'm more than happy to go ahead and drop the link. And you can join me in here and tell me what you think. You know, like I said, you guys are, you know, you're a little more pro at this than what I am. And I would very much love to kind of get that step up. So let's go ahead and do this now for everybody. Oh, wrong button. Let's go ahead and drop the link. And we're going to open this up to anybody and everybody that would like to come on in. Because you know what? I love a good talk, a good conversation. Link has been dropped. Now, I will say something. We did finally solve the issue of why this is a little bit harder to do when I drop the link. A lot of people say they don't see it. It's because we've actually been flagged on our end as being an 18 and older. And when you have that type of restriction on you, it takes things... takes away certain privileges, and unless we actually send it to like your personal messenger or whatnot, guys, that's the only way we can let people in, or it's on YouTube. So that's another way people have been joining us. Hey, I'm much appreciated, brother. I would love to sometime get together and have a little chat, guys. And like I said, I'd love to get your critique. So, like I said, man, we'll be seeing you here real soon. Guys, if you have, you know, after it's all said and done, make sure you keep an eye out. You will see me live on Talking Shit as well. And I'm looking forward to this competition. Let's see how, if I can beat the beast. So, I don't know, guys, what do we want to talk about tonight? You know, it's one of those weird nights where, you know, even though you don't hear her in the background all that often, or, well, recently, she is finding out really quick. She'll tell you flat out, she's not used to it. It's a pain in the ass, it really is. She works in extreme heat. We are talking about Miss Cat. But, you know, she also, again, it's hard to juggle that family life and doing this. It really is. Love it, brother. Let me know. And I used this analogy the other day. My favorite show is Californication. And it's about a writer that has writer's block. So there's only so many times when you don't have anybody else sitting beside you or in front of you to come up with something. And, you know, I've actually today, I was trying to catch some stuff up, get our Spotify up to date. And as I was kind of cruising through some stuff, I'm like, didn't we just talk about that? Didn't we just say that the other day? Didn't we, you know, it really... what's a good way to put it? You know, it's kind of... I'm trying to even figure out the right word to use. I don't know. It's almost redundant at times, and I guarantee that's not the right word. I don't know. It's... You know what? I'm gonna have to pull the trigger on it. Let's get the creative juices flowing, because I always do my best work after I've had a sip or two. So, last night, I hate to finish this one up, but I tell you what, we're due a restock anyways on our MLH. Let's go ahead and hit the ground running, guys. Let's pour my 2-finger. The other thing I'm noticing is it's kind of hard to do this whenever we're not as frequent as we used to be. I mean, you could almost set your watch by us. And that's the other thing that kind of catches us off guard a little bit. Well, not catches us off guard, but puts us behind. We end up, there is an algorithm that you got to try and keep up with on here. And in case you guys are wondering, this is my bourbon whiskey from MLH Distillery. And it is finished with cognac stave chips, guys. It's absolutely incredible. But we're going to do something a little bit different tonight because, like I said, we're going to double down on this just a little bit. I figure a little bourbon and 7-Up never hurt anybody. And yes, that is so good together. You know, I really need, I've learned that, what's a good way? What's a good way? I don't know, guys. I'm all over the place tonight. Welcome to the show. Hell yeah. There's so much I want to talk about and so many different ways I want to do this. You know, the one thing I really need to buckle down on is posting more, reaching out more. You guys, at any point, the door is always open if you want to send us a message. A lot of people have been sending it. We've actually been starting to get more and more invites. And what I get really excited about is we're getting more and more, like, we're getting these moonshiners come in. They want us to do, you know, reviews on their stuff. And as it turns out, we didn't know this until just Monday when we were doing a review that some of these guys, I mean, like I said, they're doing it just out of their own home for personal consumption. And, you know, it's an honor to have them actually enjoy what we do so much and trust us so much that, you know, here, let me show you something, you know, personal. Now, the fun part about doing a bar show, and this is something I'm still learning because I had to catch myself again last night. In the heat of the moment, you start to run, you start to gun, everything's going great. And then before you know it, if you're not paying attention to what you're drinking or how much you're pouring or so on and so forth, you know the old shtick, guys. Yeah, it creeps on you. And I actually have to pat myself on the back. I'm getting a lot better at, you know, the big telltale sign for me is when that first sentence comes out. You know, I talk fast as it is. And sometimes, you know, the words don't, you know, my mouth can't keep up my own words. So I still stumble and mumble. The big thing for me is when I start to say a whole sentence and it just comes out, that's when, that's my cue to take that breath and go, slow down. All right, guys, we're going to have to wrap this one up because the worst thing that can happen, and we've all been to bars, you know, all bars have that, the comedian, the guy that comes in, that, you know, he's hilarious. But then you also have the, you know, well, let me finish my statement there. You know, he's hilarious. He's a people person. You know, he knows everybody, doesn't cause trouble. Just he's in there for the drink and the conversation. Then you get the obnoxious one that thinks he is the world's best comedian. You can usually tell these guys by, you know, the famous stumble, mumble, the slurring. They're also the ones that feel like they could be sitting no more than a foot away, but they feel like, hey, I got to scream at you so you can hear me. Dude, did you see that girl? Hey, what'd you think of that song? You know, then those are the ones you end up laughing at as opposed to laughing with. And me personally, I love people. I really do. I like meeting people. I like you know, I like conversation. And the last thing I want, guys, trust me on this one. I have really bad OCD about this. My biggest fear is turning into that person that people laugh at, as opposed to laugh with. And I don't know. A lot of people sometimes, you know, I've been told, oh, he thinks he has to be the life of the party. You know, I don't walk into a place going, hell yeah, Bill's in the house. Well, hello, sweetness. God bless. It's been a long time. I need to let Sarah know that you've been popping in here. Actually, I did. I told her the last time you were in. Homemade infused vodkas, pickle, lemon, lime, peach, pineapple, etc. Takes time to infuse though, but so worth, you know what, girl? It's something I would love to do. I really do. We've actually kind of teased with it the one time where, actually we've done this a couple times. We've done cantaloupe and soaked it. We've chopped up watermelon, but one of the things we love to do is we'll core out the top, kind of soften the meat just a little bit on the inside, and we actually did 3 different rums in a pineapple, or not a pineapple, I'm sorry, a watermelon one time. We just cored out the top, we took the bottles and just popped them in the top, let them slowly infuse down in. So a couple things happened here. We took it to a concert. You know, our friends, the Southern Outlaw Band, were performing, and we said, hey, let's get, if we do this, you guys game? Hell yeah, they were all for it. So we did a white rum, a spiced rum, and a coconut rum. So this is where it really got fun. It actually, not only did it flavor the watermelon, and it was incredible. Some parts were a little more than others, but it ended up, the juice from the watermelon ended up in the rum itself, so it kind of like cycled back up and through. So we kept those rums forever because we didn't want to get rid of them. You had the coconut, the spice. The spice wasn't as good with the watermelon. Obviously, the white rum was really good, but that coconut rum, we were using Malibu and infused with actual watermelon juice. I tell you what, it was absolutely incredible. And then on top of that, it turned what was once clear, that neat watermelon red. But yes, I'm with you. I wouldn't mind. I've actually got a jar in there that at some point we're going to have to finish it up, where my stepdad, for a gift, filled a mason jar. That's not a bad idea either. Great poolside snack. My pool or yours? Of course, I don't have a pool, so I can't. Speaking of, though, girl, your happy ass is going to have to come up and visit sometime. Bring the fam. Maybe we can all reconcile and get things, you know. Yours. So you do have a pool. Nice. Anyways, I'm trying to remember where I was at. He filled a mason jar, a tall mason jar full of gummy bears, and then just poured the vodka to it. It has become, this point though, like one giant conglomerate of gummy bears. So now you basically gotta take a spoon and just go in and pour yourself up a, you know, whatever. That was fun. And there's that, you know, on special occasions, we'll bring it out. But I actually just got word, and we've got a moonshiner out of Idaho and a moonshiner out of Florida. Both of them are sending us another care package of some of their private stuff that they've made, and this is, I can't wait. So they've actually, you know, they kind of, what's a good way to put it? They know, you know, and they all agree that most store-bought, all of them, none of them like Old Smoky. None of them. You know, one guy was actually in Gatlinburg one time for, I guess they were doing something where he was there for a moonshine whatever, and he just, he didn't have nice things to say about it. So when you say, so she said, because that's not real moonshine. It kind of is, in the sense that, you know, they're still running it through the stills and everything and doing it, but, you know, it's getting watered down, it's getting altered, and, you know, it's got to meet ABC standards, the government standards. So yeah, real moonshine would actually kind of look like that. And this is actually bourbon before going in a barrel. This went into this and was aged for 30 days. Now, that was the word I got from the distillery itself. Hey, you know, anything over 30 days, it's going to start. Now, I have these other guys getting on there saying, no, you probably could have went 60 to 90 days and it'd have been a lot better. Now, that right there is the finished product. Yes. Follow me, girl. This is what it can, you know, this is what it looks like before it goes into this. Whiskeys, bourbons, everything gets its color from the barrel that it goes into. So, you know, that's also how it gets that oaky flavor, you know, whatever it's made from, you know. So yes, this is actually bourbon. And I'm going to tell you right now, oh, let's get you out of the way. This stuff is absolutely incredible. And it came from Lynchwood Distillery, located just one town over from us. Good Lord. I put that on there the other night. I know I did. 129 proof. Oh. Insanely smooth. And of course they put their own little, you know, twist on it. It's got a neat little, like, almost caramel flavor. After I aged it in a barrel, it took on a different flavor. But I'm not disappointed in it. And here's what's really cool. That same distillery is very interested in talking to me and the team. And it might not be too much longer, Miss Kara, where you will see our logo on a bottle. And we're going to have a bourbon made. In a perfect world, I'm going to hit the trifecta. I'm going to have a bourbon, I'm going to have a vodka, and I'm going to have a rum. I don't think they do tequilas or anything like that, so, but yeah, that's how things have gone so far, Sweetness. So the talk we've already had, they'd like for us to come up with a recipe, you know, at least the flavors. You know, where would we like to go with it? And I'm telling you right now, you know, with a little bit of luck, I will come up with a recipe that would be the ultimate bottle for making your old fashioned. I want it to have those hints of some of those other flavors in there. And I'll tell you what, like I said, they've got their own unique flavor. As it is, I'm really excited about it. We were originally going to do MLH and have them do it because the way they do their alcohols, they're old school. So every one of them, you definitely can tell you're drinking liquor. It's got a neat little, it's got the burn to it. you get that you still get the taste of vodka if you get their vodka, their rum, the whiskeys, their bourbons. You know, you get all the specific flavors. And then it just has a hint of whatever they like. You know, they have a coconut rum. The coconut's the last thing you taste. So that was one of the reasons we absolutely love, you know, dealing with them. So that's the stuff that's in the plans. Here's one for you, Sweetness. Since you're starting to, we're catching you, you know, a little more frequent now, I feel. I think this is like the third time you've been on. You know, it might be time for some Crossvillians to maybe rep the merch. Just throwing it out there, Sweetness. All you gotta do is hit us up in the messages. They're printed, they're not pressed, so yeah, you can wash these as many times. This thing's been washed, you know, I've had it now for months. And it's been washed time and time again, and there's no fade, no, you know, no cracking. And it does actually have part of our logo on, or our saying on the back. It could just be the alcohol talking. We usually wear these, like when me and Sarah and Kaylin went to Pickle Fest. Yeah, agreed. That's why we went with the company that we did, because I mean, we you know, we've all been to fairs and stuff. We've gotten the press shirts, or, you know, everybody has a Cricut nowadays where they make their own vinyl. One or two washings and they're already starting to peel. I've got a buddy that does a press, and he actually made me a DJing shirt. And after the very first washing, it started to pull and peel. And I'm going to tell you right now, me and him sat down and worked on that thing for hours. And it came out awesome. But then it, like I said, I mean, it just didn't have any stay power. So yeah, we 100%, we wanted something that was going to last. They're all unisex. We have all different shapes and sizes. The other fun one, and you might appreciate this, is our little tumbler that we have. And what's cool about these, they hold both bottles and cans. They're insulated, and it comes with a plastic top with a straw, so if you want to pour the drink directly in, and trust me, these things hold. At some point I'm going to have to find all my stuff. This is turning into a product shout out. Will it hold a slim? So, that might be a little bit of a, that's where it might get a little bit interesting. Does that answer your question? I love a good challenge. And in case, you know, okay, she's like, oh, that's a Mick Ultra. Yeah, well, Kara, you seem more like a, how about another thin can? A Truly Unruly. Actually, as you can see, just push it down the top and it's in. We actually are in talk with somebody to get one that is, you can put a Bluetooth speaker on the bottom of it. Yeah, we've already put all these thoughts into it, and actually, I gotta give a shout out to Miss Kitty Cat because she's the one that found the original design was done in Florida, and she was super excited. Had two of them made, brought them up. It's got the logo on it and everything, and I absolutely loved it. So I mean, it holds bottles, it holds cans. Very versatile, and like I said, it does have the tops. I wish I could find the tops to show you, sweetness. There's somewhere around here. I just don't feel like. Not bad from the crazy goofy from what? 10, almost 15 years ago now. It's been been a hot second, girl. So sometime I'm gonna have to actually send you an invite, have you come on, sit down and talk to us. I can actually bring you on screen and you can do it right from the comfort of your own home. We could have a drink together. Just a few minutes ago, we was actually, oh, sweetness. I tell you what, part of the conversation, it takes work to be able to do all this. I'm going to tell you right now. We actually had to, the first time we had to take a little hiatus, we took a week off, and that's when we built the bar. And then we had to take about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks off to finally complete it. It's been we put the epoxy down and everything. We got all these awesome stickers. My producer went out and got shelving, and I'll tell you right now, we've got just about anything and everything you could possibly think of in this bar. It's a fully functioning bar. We got a wash station, fridge, glasses. I mean, like I said, you have an open invitation at any time you want. You want to take a week, come up and we'll take you around, I guarantee. I know a young lady inside that would absolutely bawl her eyes out if she saw you. Hell, we were able to talk my knucklehead friend into coming up and visit one time. Once. He was supposed to come in, they were supposed to come up this summer and still haven't. But I did enjoy their pictures down there in Florida. Oh, sweetness. Did you ever question whether or not you would have that invite? And we miss you too, sweetie. I wouldn't mind sitting down having a drink and, let us know how things are going. Hell. Like I said, if you want to just pop on sometime, you don't even have to turn your camera on. You could, we can do it just vocally. We could test my bartending skills. Anyways, back to it. I'll tell you what, one of the things I love to do, we're going to be wrapping it up a little early tonight, only because I got invited to go on to another podcast here shortly in a live stream, and it's called Talking Shit, but it's spelled SHTTT. And you can find them again here on Facebook, YouTube, and I will be competing in their game, Florida or not Florida. So basically they're going to give me articles from all over the US, and I have to decide or I have to be able to pick whether or not this event happened in Florida or it didn't happen in Florida. And I'll tell you what, some of the stuff they come up with is crazy. Had I actually been able to go on time tonight, which I was this close, Yeah, it will be interesting. I'd actually met these guys before through a mutual friend. All of us are live streamers and podcasters, and if it wasn't for Glick, actually, he's the one that helped us with, the program, the StreamYard and everything. Kind of took us under the wing, but me and Glick have one thing in common. There's times we just don't play well with others. So as this show started to get a little bit bigger, we were going in a direction that, he just couldn't go along with anymore, we'll say. And, there was some back and forth, but, we mended the bridge, and there may or may not have been a girl involved that, she pretty well yokoed a friendship for a while. Well, it's no wonder why I'm, restricted to 18 and older. But I tell you, it's fun. I keep telling everybody, I love the outlet. I love being able to come on here. I love talking. I love meeting people. We've met people all around. I tell you what, if you check out the TikTok later on, we've had people come on from South Africa, from England. They all actually come over here as well. But like I said, we have people come from all over. And right now, there's a true kick going on, and we're getting a lot of moonshiners jumping on board and sending us handshakes, which that's just, the alcohol world of saying, here, we're going to give you samples of our product. Let us know what you think. But I tell you what, since you're on here, haven't done one in a while, let's make you a drink. Tell me what your drink of choice is, and let's see if I can make something. We can either make you an original, or we can make a brand new variation of different things. Like me, it's not uncommon to see me make an old fashioned on here, a whiskey sour. I can make a killer margarita. The problem with the margaritas is I feel like crap the next day, because the way I make them, that much sugar, you'd think you were Wilford Brimley going diabetes. So, I can't remember. I think we were just beer drinking back in the day. But if you do order a drink, what's usually your drink of choice? And let's see if I can make one for you that might tickle your fancy, so to say. Let's see. What am I? I'm kind of in the mood for some more. Like I said, guys, I'm trying to keep it a little bit easy tonight, keeping it a little simple. So this goes off to the wayside. Let's go with number 2. So yes, like I said, we are a fully functioning bar here. You like a good Moscow Mule? It's one of the easiest drinks to make. I love doing stuff like this. And you're not the only person to request a lemon drop. We have another young lady that comes on. Every time she does, the first thing she asks for is a lemon drop. So Moscow Mules, there's so many variations, but you cannot beat the original. So where did I put, there's this. We are going to need, tell me Hooper didn't drink my last one the other night. Nope, I got it right there. Gonna need the ginger beer. We're gonna need the lemon juice. Let's go ahead and put you off to the side. We're putting you back. So like I said, there's so many different variations, and I think one that would absolutely, you would love. Let's make this one raspberry. We're gonna do raspberry, 2 different types of vodka. We're gonna do raspberry, we're gonna do the whipped, and let's run it. Actually, I take that back. Because it just occurred, yeah, no, it'll still work. It'll work. Watch this. We're going to go 1001, 1002, 1003 on the whip. Let's get the raspberry going. 1001, 1002, 1003. Nice little splash of lemon. And then, of course, top it. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is a variation of the Moscow Mule. Copper mug to help keep the cool in. Now, here's the question. You know, we kind of Frankenstein one together, made it as traditional as possible, but now the real question is, how is it going to taste? And what's your opinion on what I just did for you, sweetie? Does it look like something that, you know, okay, now wait a minute. Here's the old sniff test. Aha! Stick around, girl. You'd be surprised at some of the craziness I always do on here. I would never have thought to put whipped vodka in a mule, so I need to make it. Oh my God. I'm going to tell you right now, I think this is going to be, it's going to be sweet. You're going to get the fruit. It's just going to work. I promise you. 1, 2. Really, the only thing you will need, guys, for a Moscow Mule is vodka, ginger beer, and lemon juice. Now, I have in the past done the lime. Lemon and ginger just go hand in hand. Like, I mean, there's a reason this drink is so popular. So when you kind of Frankenstein one together, you just kind of have to, you know, what would go good together? Whipped vodka goes good with just about any other vodka. Just about. I can't think of too many others. It just gives it that extra added sweetness. And then the, you know, that, everybody's wondering about the ginger beer though. I get a lot of questions about, you know, think ginger ale, but minus the ale. It's just straight ginger. Not too sweet? No, hell no, girl. All you got to do is about 1.5 ounces of each of these right here. And that only fit, you know, especially when you put the ice in it, it'll fill the glass up to about that far, not very far at all. It's the equivalent of 2 shots. Once you add the rest of it, you still get that neat little twang. Me personally, I do like the taste of ginger beer. It's non-alcoholic, guys. It is actually a soft drink. It's not too far off from, say, Vernors, which is ginger soda. And I don't feel like opening that up, or just regular ginger ale, which we usually use Canadian Dry. But yeah, the one thing we always promote on here is, you know, make it your own. How many times have I mean, we've all been to the bar and tried a new drink and been like, oh, but that would be so much better if you did this. Or my favorite one is where people go, you know, you lost me at gin. I 100% guarantee I could make you a drink that would have gin in it and you wouldn't even realize it had gin in it until it crept up on your ass. And what's neat is, like I said, you get the, you know, you do get that little hint of raspberry behind it. I knew that the the whipped would be more, the most prominent, but you do get the flavors. And one of the things I love about putting the lemon with the raspberry, it just kind of, you got two pretty much bitter drinks right there. A little bit of the sweetness with the raspberry, but the whipped really kind of brought it all together. Speaking of, I guess I'm going to have to do this because I can't guarantee we're going on TikTok tonight, Sweetness. I'm sure you're just now popping in. But we are going to do a shot. And I am going to be on another show after this. So let's go ahead and run this bad boy. I had a lavender lemon drop somewhere, decoded it, was too sweet, so we had it made with gin instead of vodka, the best drink I've ever had. Decided. Hey, decoded worked. All right, Monica, you got your glass in hand, beautiful. All right, girl, here we go. You ready? 1, 2, cheers. Oh, man. I tell you what, one of these nights, I swear, I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger and actually have some Red Bull in here. A Jaeger Bomb, for some reason, I don't know where, it just sounds like it is amazing. Just because I'm going on TikTok a little later tonight didn't mean we didn't need to keep a tradition, gorgeous. I will say this much, though. It's starting to warm up in here pretty damn quick. So that's my cue to kind of dial it back a little bit. But on that note, guys, we got about 4 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Make sure you check it out, guys. Talking Shit. That's Talking SHTTT. You can find them on Facebook, YouTube. I'm going to be heading there. I go on with them at 8:30, which gives us 8:30 my time. So that gives us about 10 minutes before I'm going on. That's why I'm probably going to end this in like 5. Because sometimes it is kind of a pain in the ass to, once you get the link going, then I got to get set up. That way, the name, so on and so forth. I know this much. I am absolutely 100% excited about it because these guys are, I think they're in year 5 or year 6. Where am I going on with them? It's going to be on Facebook. You'll find it on Facebook. And chances are, I don't know if it'll be on Another Shots or if it'll be under my personal, but it will show that I'm live somewhere if you're on Facebook. But like I said, just check them out. They do awesome interviews, especially horror movies. Who knows the movie Sleepaway Camp? Who remembers that little gem from 1980? They've had Felissa Rose on there, and she was absolutely phenomenal. They just had Robert Lizardo, Hollywood's bit actor. He always has these small roles, but everything he does, it's memorable. They're like us. They do a lot of bands. There's usually a whole panel of people on there talking. And he just said earlier that they've actually been watching us quite a bit, and they've got an idea. Oh, what up, Blue? I'm thinking starting next week, it's going to be a lot of football talk on Thursday. So it's time to go ahead and get caught up on everything. First football game tonight. What are you talking about? What do you mean, buddy? Who's playing? Is it a scrimmage game, I'm assuming? And where? Because I hadn't heard anything about it yet. Wow. Had I know, I should have been paying attention. But on that note, guys, we are going to go ahead and wrap this one up because, like I said, I got to get ready for the next one. Panthers Cardinals from Canton. That's awesome. So I might end up turning it on here. Thank you, Kara. Thank you, Monica, Blue, all you guys. Make sure you check us out Sunday for our Sunday weekend hangover. Of course, we have our Monday night bartender. We have our Tuesday night Real Flicks and Chill, our Wednesday night open bar, and of course, our Thirsty Thursday Thoughts and Shots. Now, sweetness, the party's not over yet. I will be probably going on TikTok later on, but make sure you check out Talking Shit. Again, the last word is SHTTT. I'm going to be heading there right after this. And I'm looking forward to chatting with these guys and seeing how we go. So, there are good ships, there are wood ships. There are ships that sail the sea, but the best ships are friendships. And may they always be. Guys, like I said, plenty more tonight. Looking forward to seeing you again. Everything we say on this show is just our opinion. But then again, it could be the alcohol talking. See you guys soon. Love you all.
Thank you for stopping in and listening to the Another Shot podcast. We shared some drinks, stories, and laughs. But it's time to say goodnight. Join us next time on Another Shot podcast.
If you're looking for a party, then man, have you found it? Now the shot is coming raw and unbounded. The whiskey's always talking and the beer's overflowing. Now the shot is gonna hit you with the mind overloaded. The bar is always open with no inhibitions. Another shot will leave your sensories twitching. Just remember, everything we say is just our opinion. But then again, it might be the alcohol talking. It might be the alcohol talking.